What did mommy want to
Now's
do?
my chance not to mute myself. Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I got my kid who's in the background. He may be able to do it as well.
He can also kick you off, Naftali. Just keep that in mind.
All right, let's go. Ready? So just
where are we starting from?
We are going to start
past the
from
mute. We can't start this year without welcoming David Spira, though. I mean, come on, this is great.
Oh yeah. I welcomed him on him privately, but
thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes,
Wow.
welcome.
Shalom Aleichem.
Wow.
Everybody be on your best behavior so he stays for more than one day, all right? It already might be too late.
Oh, Mo Stein is on.
Yeah, he's on, Peretz. He's on. He's just not sitting by the table.
Hold on. Let me throw Lando out.
Okay, anyways. Okay, so we're starting from Pei Zayin Amud Aleph, a few lines down. So basically what we've been talking about, we're going to be talking about for the next few days, is I didn't send it out today. What happened over here? Didn't come up. Anyways, is Matan Torah. I did send it out, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's not coming out. Okay. Anyways, we're talking about Matan Torah, right? And basically, how many days before Matan Torah did everybody have to separate from their wives? That's the main discussion. And then we started yesterday, and we're going to be doing this for the next couple of blocks. Baruch Hashem is not a difficult Gemara. So we have a machlokes on the bottom of Pei Vav Amud Beis as to when was the Torah given. Was the Torah given on the 6th day of Sivan or on the 7th day of Sivan? All right, so there's no machlokes that the Torah was given on Shabbos, and there was no machlokes that on Rosh Chodesh they came to Midbar Sinai on Rosh Chodesh. So again, there's no argument with that. The only argument was whether that took place on a Sunday or a Monday, right? So one Rabbi Yossi holds it was on Sunday, and who's the machlokes? And the Rabanan hold that it was on a Monday. Okay, so that's basically it. So the Rabanan hold that it was given on Shabbos. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos. So it was Vav. Rabbi Yossi holds it was given on Zion. We're gonna ultimately paskin like Rabbi Yossi, which is Zion, which makes for a very interesting situation because we know that Shavuos starts on Vav, not Zion. So if we paskin like Rabbi Yossi, why are we starting Shavuos on Vav and not on Zion? Okay, but that we'll deal with when we finish the sugi. Anyway, so those are the two basic shittas. Now the Gemara starts with the kashas on it.
Wait, before you start, last night you said that there was like halacha l'maisa that came out of this, but I don't recall what it was.
Yeah,
like
very good.
There was a practical
right.
Point.
So what Simon's asking is that who cares? That's essentially, he's a nice guy, so he's not asking it like that. But basically, he's saying who cares when Shavuos was? It has nothing to do with halacha, right? So the answer is it does have to do with halacha because depending on when Shavuos was, that's how long we know that when Zera comes out of the woman, how long is it metame her for? Does it go for 2 days? Does it go for 3 days? That's essentially the practical halacha that we learn out from it. Based on when they had to separate from their wives before Matan Torah, that's what we learn out. So, but for today's practical, we don't even, it does have to do with it, but Lamaisa, we paskin nowadays that it was 3 days before. So therefore, and we said like yesterday, 3 days really translates to 4 days because 72 hours always ends up in another day and always ends up into the 4th day, and then Ashkenazim added a 5th day. That's why whenever a woman becomes Asur, she has to wait 5 days before starting the Shiva Nikiyim. Ultimately, it's all based on this Gemara. So theoretically, had we paskin 2 days, then we'd only have to wait 4 days instead of 5 days. But we don't paskin like that. So we paskin that it's 3 full days. Right? So that's essentially what it has to do with. Okay, so Meisvei, right? 6 lines down on the top, Pei Zayin Amud Aleph. Meisvei, they asked the kasha, V'kidashtem hayoyim u'machar. It says you should make yourselves holy today and tomorrow. Kasha Rabbi Yossi, so that's a kasha on Rabbi Yossi, right? Meaning because it says separate today and tomorrow. So when's today and tomorrow? Thursday. And Thursday and Friday. Right? Well, actually not Thursday, Friday. Hey and Vav, right? So that's a kasha on Rabbi Yossi. So Rabbi Yossi, Yom Echad Haisav Moshe Midaytei. Yosef added on one day.
Medium
Moshe
large.
added on. Guys, got to mute too. Yeah,
Punja, it's Punja.
Punja. Now he's muted. Okay. So Yom Echad Haisa Moshe Midaita. Moshe added on one day on his own accord by himself. The Tanya Gimel Dvarim. There's also very interesting Hashkafic Gemara. The Tanya Gimel Dvarim also Moshe Midaita v'Hiskam HaKadosh Baruch Hu Imoy. Three things Moshe Rabbeinu did on his own, and Hashem was masking to him. That makes it sound like Hashem didn't have these ideas himself, right? And Moshe outthought Hashem Kavayachol, right? So the Mefarshim have different ways of dealing with this, but let's just see how the Gemara goes. But again, there's three things that Moshe Rabbeinu did on his own, and Hashem was masking him. He added on one day to the Shloshis Megwala on his own. Upirush Mina Isha. He separated from his wife. From Matan Torah and on, Moshe Rabbeinu separated from his wife. And he broke the luchas. So what was he basing it on that he added on one day? Because what he does says it says in the pasuk today and tomorrow. Today should be like tomorrow. Just like tomorrow means the night and the day. And so today should also have the night with it. But he had this said during the day. And today's day already went out. Therefore, it must be that there's 2 more days they have to separate besides for today. Meaning, he's saying that it says Hayayim Umach. So that means it's supposed to be 2 days of today with a night. But this was told to him during the day. So the night before was already gone. So it must be there should be 2 more nights and 2 days. So that's what Moshe Rabbeinu decided. And how do you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed with him? The shop, so that the Shekhinah didn't come down until the morning of Shabbos. Fine. So that's the first thing he added on his own day. Right. So therefore, ultimately, there's no kasha on Rav Yossi from the pasuk because he added on his own day. So therefore, there were 3 days. Pirush Min Isha, and he separated from his wife. It's interesting. It says Min Ha'isha. Right. Why doesn't it say from his wife? Right. I don't clearly understand. Pirush Min Ha'isha sounds like he didn't go with any woman. Well, what would he be with any woman other than his wife? Right? Should be Pirush Min Ishtoi. He separated from his wife. Okay. Right? Fine. So Pirush Min Isha, my Dorish, Nasa Kal V'chaymer B'atzmi. So he made a Kal V'chaymer. Amar Omai Yisroel Shaloi Dibra Shechina Iman Elisha Achas. Klal Yisroel, the Torah only spoke to them for 1 hour. The Kovelens Man and the Torah was keveya time for it, meaning they knew Klal Yisrael knew exactly when Hashem was going to be talking to them. And Amr Torah, you should be clean. Al tikshu, don't touch a woman. Al tikshu isha, al isha. That's the end of that pasuk. So meaning Klal Yisrael was in contact with Hashem for a minute or whatever it was. It says shah, but it's lav dafka, right? Doesn't mean specifically an hour. So they were in contact with Hashem for an hour, and Hashem made them separate from their wives for 3 days before that. Me, that at any hour the Shekhinah could talk to me, and the Shekhinah never told me exactly when that's going to come. For sure, I should not be with my wife, because how do I know that in any second you can, Shekhinah is going to talk to me?
So Yaakov, is this true by any Navi? I mean, I know Moshe was a different status as Navi, but is this true? I mean, every Navi,
no.
Hashem could come to them. They don't know when Hashem's going to come to them.
No, but that's not really Hashem. That's Nevuah. It's different. This is Peh. This was Moshe was with.
So Klal Yisrael also had Peh.
That's what it seemed from the Gemara. It seems like by Matan Torah, yeah.
I thought Moshe was the only one that ever had Peh.
I don't know. It seemed right. So from this Gemara, though, it seems like Klal Yisrael was. There are.
Well, didn't they hear the first two? Didn't they hear the first 2 mitzvahs and kept dying?
Right, but I don't know if that was Peh. Maybe they heard it in more of a nevuah way. I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, but they were told beforehand when they were gonna get the Torah. Moshe wasn't told beforehand when Hashem was going to talk to him.
Right.
But I'm asking, I thought it was brought down in the Ramban that Moshe was the only one that was, right? He saw it like a clear glass. The Ramban doesn't talk about any klal Yisrael, when they received Matan Torah, had that as well.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with all these midrashim and how to figure them all out. I don't know. I wish I knew, but yeah, I got to check that book. What's it called? The guy wrote a good book in English. From Feldheim, he made it like into a novel. He put all the midrashim together. You know what I'm talking about? Let my people. He has let my nation live.
There's a few. Let my nation go.
Let my nation. Let my nation. He has on Purim. He has on this. He has on Matan Torah too. He has on Matan Torah too. I have to. Yeah.
Yossi Deutsch. I think it's called
Yossi Deutsch, right? Yeah, Yossi Deutsch. Yeah. So maybe he goes through all there. He compiles the midrashim. I know it's a pretty lousy Maramaka to bring up in a shir, but it's a. But you know what? It's a good piece of work, and he compiles all the midrashim. So I don't know. Anyway, so it's interesting because the Mefarshim say so.
But this is a kal v'chomer, right?
It's a kal v'chomer.
This is a kal v'chomer.
Yeah, he said at any time.
But isn't he missing one aspect?
What's that?
One is a revelation to the entire klal Yisrael. This is a single. Maybe there's more kedusha by a klal.
Oh, okay. Yes. There are some questions to be asked on Moshe's kal v'chomer. I don't remember if they asked that kasha, but that's one of the. There are some kashas. I think maybe that's one of them. Yeah, and then it seems like it never happened again after this. I think some of the Mefarshim say that it never happened after this. Meaning, in theory, Moshe was right. Meaning, the problem is with all these things is what Hashem didn't get it right. Moshe figured this out. Hashem couldn't figure this out. Like if Hashem was right, if Moshe was right,
Hashem knew, but Moshe didn't know. So Moshe had to had to err on the point of Hashem told him 2 days, right? And but Hashem knew that they're not going to see Zerah for 3 days.
Right. So they're right. So I mean, he had to do. Moshe had to base it on his knowledge, right?
Right. Not what Rabban Shem knew already. Amen. Not a one that Rabban Shem knew already. The Rabban Shem knew he would always be tired when he spoke to him. But Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know it.
Correct, right. That's the basic shot. You hear what he's saying? The basic shot is that Moshe had to make his decision based on the knowledge that he had. Hashem knew that it wasn't going to be. Hashem knew that everybody was going to be Torah anyways, and Hashem knew that he wasn't going to come in face to face with Moshe anymore. So therefore, he didn't have to tell him that. But then the problem is, then why couldn't Hashem tell Moshe, relax, you could be with your wife, but it's not happening anymore. Right? If you're saying that it never ever happened again, and that's why Hashem never told Moshe to stay away from his wife. So then why didn't Hashem just tell it to Moshe? Okay, I don't know. These are deep questions.
Because
you don't like
this
that?
Is not a real Hashem wasn't getting involved in a lot of things that he could.
I don't know. It's not a real kal v'chomer. What?
Yeah, there's kashas on this kal v'chomer. This kal v'chomer was not a real kal v'chomer. It was Moshe's way of coming to Precious, which is the highest level of Emunah B'Taken.
Oh, now you're already saying a different zach. You know what I mean? I teach Chassanim, so I don't go down this road. I'm busy on a different road. You know.
We're not supposed to just Moshe Rabbeinu was
correct, but you know what? Some guys get badimian that they're on the road to Precious. You know what the first thing I tell them? You know what the first thing I tell them? I said, next time you eat at a smorgasbord and you stop eating because you want Precious, then you come back to me about this. Or you stop going to restaurants. Yeah, right. There's a lot of other Precious that you got. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so that's the second kal v'chomer. But one thing also that we can learn out from this is, again, I don't want to bring in the whole COVID thing, but we can't help ourselves to bring it in. But we blame the Rabanan for changing their minds, not changing their mind. Yes, minion, no minion. They can only make decisions based on the information that they have. And if the information changes, then it doesn't mean that not that Rabbanim can't make mistakes, but Rabbanim, doctors, they can make decisions based on the information that they have. Lemafreya could come out as a mistake. But if it was made with full faith on what this information was at that point, so then that's it. There's no, hindsight's 20/20, as they say. Okay, weiter. And how do you know that Hashem was masking that Moshe stayed away from his wife? He told them after Matan Torah, he said everybody should go back to their tents. You should stay here with me. Right? So that's how we learn out that Hashem agreed that Moshe shouldn't go to his wife. This time, and there are those that say, fine. Shavuos aluchas, Moshe broke the luchas, my darish, what was his Joshua? The Korban Pesach, which is one of the 613 mitzvahs, and a stranger, meaning somebody who doesn't keep the Torah and the mitzvahs, is not allowed to eat the Korban Pesach. HaTorah kula kan, if the entire Torah here is being given, Yisroel mumrim, and klal Yisroel are mumrim because they're not accepting the Torah because they went after the calf, right? Alachas kama v'kama, that they shouldn't be part of the Torah. Again, he's making a kal v'chomer, and he's saying that if the Korban Pesach, you can't have a ben nechar participate in it, right? So that's only one mitzvah. So all 613 mitzvahs the Yidden are rejecting. So of course they shouldn't be part of it.
I had a kasha. Not all of Klal Yisrael, but the Levim and the Kahanim, weren't.
Yeah. So right. So Enochanami, but I guess he's going with the Rav. He's going with the Rav, right?
What do you mean Rav?
Rav of Klal Yisrael did do the egel.
Yeah, but
Klal Yisrael Rav.
Yeah. Listen, I believe these protesters, most of them are also legit, right? It's only a few that kill up everybody, but I don't know. But here is a Rav, though. Here it's a Rav. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good example. But I know Hanami, but he's not. I'm saying he's saying that Klal Yisrael didn't deserve it. Maybe other people, the Kohanim and Leviim,
didn't deserve it.
No, what do you mean? That the Luchas.
So the Rishonim bring the Taka didn't.
What?
The Kohanim and Leviim, because Klal Yisrael are Ravim Zelazah. Rishonim bring it ready now.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah. Fine. Fine. So he broke the luchas. When we don't know the Hiskim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yodei, how do you know HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed? Shenemar Asher Shavarta, that you broke it. V'amar Lakish, here we go, parrots, another one. Yasha Koichacha Sheshivarta. Yasha Koich, that you broke it. All right, fine. Toshima. So now we're going back to kashas between Rabbi Yossi. Again, we have Rabbi Yossi who holds that it was on the 6th day, and the Chacham hold that it was on. I'm sorry, Rabbi Yossi holds it on the 7th day. Rabanan holds it on the 6th day. So you have to be clean on the 3rd day. Kasha Rabbi Yossi, that's a kasha Rabbi Yossi. No, we already gave an answer. Moshe added on another day. According to the Torah, it should have been on the 3rd day, and ended up being that it ends up the 4th day. Tashma shlishi b'chaydish or shlishi b'shabbos. So the shlishi is shlishi b'chaydish, shlishi b'shabbos. Kasha l'Rabanan, right? Because it says the 3rd day is when, and the 3rd day was Tuesday. So that means Rosh Chodesh was on Sunday, not Monday. That's like Rabbi Yossi. So Kasha Rabbanan, Rabbanan, Hamani Rabbi Yossi. That Bryce is Rabbi Yossi. Yeah? Shlishi, meaning, and we can disagree with Rabbi Yossi. Very interesting teretz, but we are bringing a Kasha on the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan say, yeah, that Bryce, don't ask me a Kasha from that Bryce, because that Bryce is Rabbi Yossi. Okay, Shlishi Lamai, what does it mean? Shlishi to what? Like the Tana, V'yoshem Moshe as Divrei Amel Hashem. And Moshe returned the words of the Klal Yisrael to Hashem. Uksiva Yagid Moshe as Divrei Amel Hashem. And Moshe told the words of the nation of Klal Yisrael to Hashem. Ma Amar LeKadosh Baruch Hu LeMoshe, Ma Amar LeMoshe LeYisrael, Ma Amar Yisrael LeMoshe. Meaning there was a give and a take here. Moshe was corresponding, but he wasn't corresponding, but he was bringing the messages back and forth between Klal Yisrael and Hashem. Right? So it says, Ma Amar LeKadosh Baruch Hu LeMoshe, what Hashem told Moshe, Ma Amar LeMoshe LeYisrael, what did Moshe tell Klal Yisrael? Ma Amar Yisrael LeMoshe. And what did Klal Yisrael tell Moshe? And what did Moshe go tell Hashem? So Zu mitzvah hakbala, Divrei Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda, the mitzvah hakbala of making the boundaries. Rabbi Yomer B'tchila Pirish Einsha. In the beginning, he explained to them the punishment of Sivayasha Moshe Dvarav. Sivayasha Moshe min Dvarav Shem Shavim in Daite Shel Adam. Those are words that Shavim is to prevent them from doing things. And then first he told them the punishment, then he told them the schar that they're going to get. He told them things that are going to pull their heart, like Agadata Gemara, which pulls you, right? So Moshe told them the reward that they're going to get for the Hagvala. He did it the opposite. First, he told them the reward. He told them things that are the word. These are both plays on words. So this Shemashivin Daita Shalom means it calms down the das of a person. Whenever you hear about reward, you always get excited. And then he told them the punishment if they don't do this. But Yaged is from the word gid. We're saying things that are difficult to a person, like gidin, like gid. How do you touch it?
Sinew.
It's a bitter type of
sinews.
herb.
Right.
No,
Rashi touches it sinew, but Rashi touches it a bitter vegetable.
Yeah.
Right. Toshima, shishi b'chaydish, shishi b'Shabbos. The 6th was the 6th of the month and the 6th on Shabbos. So who's that? That's clearly kasha l'Rabanan, right? So it's a kasha to Rabbanon, right? Hanami Reb Yosi. That's also Reb Yosi, right? Yeah, because again, shishi b'Shabbos, shishi b'chaydish, shishi b'Shabbos. That means when is Rosh Chodesh? Sunday, right? So that sounds like kasha Rabbanon. So they say Hanami Reb Yosi. That's Reb Yosi. Shishi lamai. What was the shishi? Shishi to what? So Rava Amar l'chaniyasam, to their camping. Rav Acha meaning when they camped, right? Rav Acha Bar Yaakov Amar l'masan. No, it was the 6th day from when they traveled. The Kamifagi b'Shabbos, the Marah, and they're having a disagreement about the Shabbos that was spent in Marah. Yisiv kasha tzivcha Hashem lekecha. Like Hashem commanded you in Marah. V'amar Rav Yehuda, meaning they got some of the Torah in Marah. V'amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. They were told about Shabbos and Marah, but they were not told about techum, right? The boundaries. So therefore, they were able to travel. They were also told about techum in Marah. Okay, Toshima Nisan Shabbat Yatzu Yisroel Mitzrayim. Now this gets a little technical in the math of calculating months. Toshima. Nisan Shabbat Yatzu Yisroel Mitzrayim Ba'arba Asar Shach. Somebody asked this, I think, yesterday about, well, why don't we just base when Shavuos is based on Pesach, right? So now the Gemara is sort of going to ask that question. Toshima Nisan Shabbat Yatzu Yisroel Mitzrayim. Nisan, when klal Yisroel left Mitzrayim, Ba'arba Asar Shach B'Schaim, as we all know, on the 14th day they shechted the Karban Pesach. And on the 15th day they went out. And in the night, Loku B'Charis. And that night, the Bechar got killed. So the Gemara is going to ask obvious question. La'erev Sagda, you mean that night? The 15th, meaning the night into the 16th? Elamiba Erev Laka Becharis. No, what it means is that the night before, the night between the 14th and the 15th, that's when the Becharis got hit. And that was on a Thursday. So if the 15th of Nisan is on a Thursday, Reish Yarcha De'iyar Shabbos. That means Rosh Chodesh is going to be on Shabbos because the 15th is on Thursday, right? So then you're going to add 2 more weeks to that. So then it's going to be, 30 days. The Reish Yarcha De'Sivan, right? 1 second. So Reish Yarcha De'iyar is Shabbos. Then the Rosh Chodesh year is going to be on Shabbos. The Reish Yarcha De'Sivan Chad B'Shabbos, and then Rosh Chodesh of Sivan is going to be on the 1st of Shabbos. Kasha l'Rabbanan, so it's a kasha on the Rabbanan, right? So Amr l'ch Rabbanan, because Rabbanan are the ones that say that it's on the 2nd, say on Monday. So Amr l'ch Rabbanan, Iyar dahi shata eburei abrua. No, that year, Iyar is normally 29 days, not 30 days, always, right? And that year, Iyar was 30 days, not 29. So therefore, everything gets moved back a day. Fine, that's the way they answer that. Toshima. Delay Avrua Nisan Shabbat Yatzu Yisami Mitzrayim Ba'Aba Asar, right? I'm sorry. Let me start again. Toshima. Delay Avrua Nisan Shabbat Yatzu Yisami Mitzrayim. They did not make Nisan an extra day on the month, the Nisan that they went out. Klal Yisrael went out of Mitzrayim. So Ba'arba Asar Shachtu Pesachim. V'chamisha also yatzu, right? 14th they shechted, 15th they went out. U'le'erev loku b'chayres. Same Gemara, right? And that night the b'chayres got hit. Le'erev sakadai doesn't mean that night. Aleim erev loku b'chayres. From the evening they got hit. V'oisa yom chamishi b'Shabbos haya. And that day was on a Thursday. Hishlam Nisan, Ira Liyas b'Shabbos, right? So Nisan was done. Iyar came out to be on Shabbos. It's so far exactly the same as the previous price. So Chaser Iyar, and Iyar only had Chaser, meaning it was missing. That's what we say for a month that only has 29 days. We call it a Chaser. Iyar Sivan Liyas b'Shabbos, and Sivan fell out to be on Shabbos. So Kasha Rabanan. So that's going to be a kash on the Rabbanon. Hamani Rabbi Yossi. So we say, no, that's Rabbi Yossi. That price is Rabbi Yossi, which is essentially, we can ask kashas from prices all day on the Rabbanon. All they're going to say is that price is Rabbi Yossi. Right? Zamar Papa, Tashima, Vayisum Elim, Vayoyo Kol Adas B'nei Yisroel. Right? They traveled from Elim, and then the whole Adas B'nei Yisroel came. B'chamisha Arsa Yom L'Chodesh Hasheni, on the 15th day of the second month. Right? V'Oisa Yom Shabbos Haya. And that day was Shabbos. It was in the morning, and they saw the Kvod Hashem, right? Uksiv. Now you know what that's talking about. That's talking about the mon, right? Uksiv sheishes yamim tilkatu, and the 6 days you should gather mon, and then Shabbos you don't. When the Chamesa be'ir Shabsa, if the 15th day of Iyar is on Shabbos, you get Reish Yachid Sivan Chad Shabbos, and that means Rosh Chodesh Sivan is on a Sunday. Kashul Rabbanon, it's a Kashul Rabbanon. Amalach Rabbanon, no, Iyar the Hishata Burev, same teretz. That year they made Iyar have an extra day, so therefore it's not going to be a problem, and therefore.
So yeah, but what's up, Sean? These Gemaras, like, is the Gemara just trying to bring out these brises just to say the pshat in those brises is the same shot we had before? Like, in order so that
we asking why the Gemara seems to be repeating the same kashas over and over again.
Right? Is it in order so they could just be malakate all the different brises together, just so you could see them, and how they were matla them?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew the answer to that question. Right? It just almost seems like they're just trying to find different ways to slug up the Rabbanon. I mean, so far there's only one kasha on Rabbi Yossi, and the rest were all kashas on the Rabbanon.
Right, or maybe the Gemara doesn't like the fact that there's so many brises that are going like Rabbi Yossi. I don't know.
Could
if that
be.
matters.
Maybe that's why. That's maybe taka why we pass on like Rabbi Yossi.
Right.
Which we'll get to in the Maskonas and Devarim after when we finish the sugya. But I don't know. I don't know why he keeps asking the same thing. The Gemara is obviously smart enough to figure out that once you're answering, that price is Rabbi Yossi, so then you're going to answer that for every time. Right? Meaning, even if you don't come up with a good teretz, you're just going to say, okay, that price is Rabbi Yossi.
Right, but I guess the Gemara wants to I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I wish I had the answer. If you find an answer, please let me know. Yeah. So Amar Le Rav Chaviva Mechuzana Rav Ashi Toshima. But you can see. So now maybe Akiva. This next one, it sounds like this was different Amira asking this kasha, and the Gemara is just recording it, right? And the other ones, it just seems like the Gemara is asking. This one is Rav Chaviva Mechuzana asked Rav Ashi. So the Gemara is saying, he had his own kasha, maybe. So Toshima. Right? It was on the first month and the second year on the first day of the month. Right, that's Nisan. Hukam Mishkan. Right, that's a Akamas Mishkan. On that day, they took 10 crowns. Meaning, it doesn't mean crowns, it just means there were 10 things that started happening for Klal Yisroel on that Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Rishon Lamaisa Bereshis. Right, it was the first day for Maisa Bereshis, right? Meaning because that was a Sunday. Rishon LeNesim, it was the first day for the Nesim that they brought their karbonos, right? Actually, it's interesting now that it reminds me that Rashi seems to have a different girsa. The Gemara here says Rishon Lamaisa Bereshis. And Rashi's lashon is, where is it? Rishon lebrias olam. I mean, it's essentially the same thing. It was just interesting Our Gemara calls it Ma'aser Bereishis, and Rashi calls it Brias Olam. Okay. Anyway, so the first thing was Rishon Brias Olam. That was Sunday. Rishon l'Nesim. The Nesim wrote the Karbonos. Rishon l'Kahuna. That's when the Kehanim took over from the Bechor. Right. Till then, the Bechor was leading Klal Yisrael. Then the Kehanim took over. Rishon l'Avodah. It was the first time that they did Avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. Rishon l'Yerida Ha'esh. There was the first day that the fire came down from the sky to put the fire onto the Mizbeach to burn the Karbonos. Rishon l'Achilas Kodshim. It was obviously the first day that they ate Kodshim. Rishon Lishkan Shechina. It's the first day that the Shechina was resting in the Mishkan. Rishon Levarchas Yisroel. It's the first day that the Kehanim started duchening, that they started benching Klal Yisrael. Rishon leIsser Habama. So that was once they had the Mishkan, they assered any private bamos in their in people's yards, right? Rishon leChadashim. It was the first of the month. They started calling it the month. And with the Reish Yachad and Nisan, the Hayshata Chad B'Shabbos. And now there's an interesting rule. And if the Sunday of Nisan, if Nisan fell out on a Sunday, the Ishtake B'Dalit B'Shabbos. That means that the previous year was on a Wednesday because it always moves up 4 days. Meaning whatever day Rosh Chodesh falls out on one day, then it's the next year. It's going to be 4 days later. You calculate how it goes with the Hebrew days in a month. That's the way it comes out. Tanya there is no difference between Shavuos and Shavuos. Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah. There's no difference between the days of the week of Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. Ela b'dalid yomim bilvad. Only 4 days, right? And if it's an Ibriyar, then it's Hey Hava. Hey, then it's 5 days. Correct?
But the Gemara said before that this was an unusual year. They added an extra day.
Oh, right. So that's right.
I mean, the Gemara said that before.
Correct.
So if they add an extra day, so then what are they?
So Akiva is essentially what the Gemara is going to answer.
I know, but it used right. But at least before is the Bryces. Here we're having like they here.
See, so here it's not adding to Eir. We'll see. Here it's a little bit different. Let's see. So either way, Havalei Reish Yachad the Eir Maili Shavasa. So that means that the Rosh Chodesh Eir was on a Friday. Reish Yachad the Sivan Shabsa. That means the Rosh Chodesh Sivan is going to be on Shabbos. So then Kasha Bein l'Rabbi Yossi Bein l'Rabanan. Now we got both. It's a Kasha on both because here it comes out that Rosh Chodesh was on a Shabbos, right? Rabbi Yossi says Rosh Chodesh was on a Sunday. Rabbanan said Rosh Chodesh on a Monday, and this price is saying that Rosh Chodesh should have been on a Shabbos. So Rabbi Yossi Shiva Chaser and Ovid. No. So Rabbi Yossi says that year instead of making 6 months of 29 days, they made 7 months of 29 days. And the Rabbanon, and according to the Rabbanon, they made 8 months that were chasar, so therefore they messed up with the whole calendar. So both of them have to mess around with the calendar. I don't want to say mess around, that's the wrong terminology. But they had to, in order for them to explain their opinions, excuse me, we have to say that year they did different calculations for whatever reason. Okay. Okay, that's it for tonight. So that's, I hope it wasn't a little technical with the dates, but that's, yeah. All right. Fine. Zag is in. Everybody should stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. That's all.
Jesse, stay home.
He's already
right now, I'm in the middle of a search for a missing person, so I will not make Marah either.
By the way,
why? Hopefully they'll find them in the next 5 minutes.
For everybody to know, Frankel's and Russo's are closing at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Didn't Russo's close already?
No, that was just something else.